Hi, this is Anna Imagination with the Healing Garden. And thank you. Welcome to Shifting Perspectives. So, this is like my first day learning new tech, which is why I'm late. So, give me a couple days of troubleshooting and then I'll smooth this out and figure it out. And then I'll be punctual. So, the video that we're covering today is I want to heal, but I keep stalling out, basically. I keep hesitating. And what I'm covering on this is basically what's going on in the subconscious mind through this process, because that's really what's going on is the subconscious mind is basically interfering with your intent. Our conscious awareness, which is our ego. Just a minute. Let me grab my notebook because I need my notebook to scribble. Our conscious awareness is what is basically making the decisions to want to improve. We use our egos to decide what it is we're wanting to do in life. We seek direction. We get tired of suffering. These are all reflections of the conscious awareness. You, that's the ego, all assessing everything and trying to figure out your relativity to situations. So when you realize that you're constantly in bad relationships, or you constantly are in a job that you hate, or you're constantly allowing your parents to abuse you, and you say to yourself, I really need to step up to my mom and dad, but then you don't. There's a lot of inconsistency that we see with our own behavior that frustrates a lot of people. I was one of those persons who in high school consistently, every time I got a report card, the same thing for 13 years, every report card said the same thing. Works inconsistency. Pleasure to have in class, works inconsistently. Working inconsistently is actually a very good thing. It means that your your identity is 100% on board with wanting something, and your subconscious mind keeps playing interference. You'll see it with me with these videos when I get into a topic and I might hit a particular topic where I'll suddenly lose train of thought, I'll suddenly stutter, or I'll completely go blank. That's actually the subconscious mind interfering with the topic at hand. The subconscious mind is wired 100% on the agenda of keep the individual safe. So it's got a list of beliefs inside of its brain that are marked as danger zone, danger zone, danger zone. And this is literally what you are doing when you are working on toxic beliefs. You're actually going through that list of, okay, what's on the list of dangerous things today? And you're working your way through the list of what the subconscious mind has deemed to be dangerous. We see this with PTSD triggers, where a dog barking is considered dangerous because it's danger by association. Danger by association is the most common type of toxic belief. It's when the subconscious mind takes an associated thing and associates danger with it, when in fact it's not actually dangerous at all. So working through PTSD triggers is 100% challenging the limiting belief by addressing what is considered or labeled dangerous by association by the subconscious mind. So what you're really doing when you decide you want to heal and then you don't is your subconscious mind is trying to keep you safe. Because when you decide to go onto the path of healing, you're taking on one massive agenda, which is not your subconscious mind. I need to clarify. Your conscious awareness, your ego, is taking on the agenda of improve the quality of my life. And improving the quality of your life is going to require that you challenge your subconscious mind. It's going to require that you dig out all the things that have been labeled as dangerous and keeping you safe. Now, your subconscious mind has that constant program, oh, you got to keep the individual safe. So it literally labels the trauma healing as dangerous. That's it right there. The subconscious mind labels healing as being dangerous. So when you decide to heal, when you decide to meditate, when you decide to do trauma work, when you decide to dig out all of the pain, your subconscious mind is going to pull out that list and go, oh, that's going to address these issues, and that's dangerous. So the subconscious mind immediately jumps in, derails, takes away your focus, your motivation, and will immediately send you down a completely different route, leaving you blindsided. Suddenly 30 days has passed and you haven't done any meditation. 10 days has passed and you haven't done any self-care. A month has passed and you haven't even attended therapy. You probably have canceled all 4 of your therapy sessions. You may have signed up for master classes or group therapy and you haven't attended any. It's because your subconscious mind deems all of these behaviors as dangerous. So if you are deciding to take on this endeavor, if you are wanting to be serious about, and I shouldn't say be serious because a lot of people are serious, but the subconscious mind is crafty. The subconscious mind will go through a lot of work to make sure you stay safe. So what ends up happening is when you make up your mind that you want to trauma heal, what you really need to do is confront this demon. You need to address the very first toxic belief, and no one is doing this. No one is talking about this. So the toxic belief you actually have to challenge before anything else is the belief that healing is dangerous. Okay? Healing is not dangerous. And this is where you're going to have to get right into challenging the limiting belief with your subconscious mind. I'm going to go over that here in a moment. So healing is dangerous is pretty much the toxic belief that's preventing all of this. So here's how this works. A belief is love-based. There's actually no emotion attached at all to our belief systems. When we have a belief that is emotional, it's actually fear we are dealing with. You are not supposed to have an emotional response at all to a belief. A belief is neutral. So if you feel emotions with a toxic belief, you're actually dealing with fear in disguise. And that's the problem. Having a fear disguised as a belief is different than all of your other fears. There's 2 methods that your fear system uses to basically keep you safe. The first one is minor. The first one is classic. The first one we all kind of know. The first one is basically a suppressed fear or an avoidant is on top of the fear, a diversion. The fear is basically buried under the diversion. So when you go to look at the fear, there's going to be all of these distractions. If you have a relationship and you're arguing with your partner and you're talking about all of these little stupid things, those are diversions from the actual problem. That's your subconscious mind, again, interfering because it's dangerous to look at those problems, because it is not safe to be angry at your spouse, because being angry at your spouse risks rejection, abandonment, and a loss of placement and love. That's not really love. It's a loss of visibility. So the subconscious mind will divert you from the actual problem because you have a toxic belief that that it's not safe to be angry with this person that you love. Oh, this is a huge topic. This is like a thread of yarn that's tangled that I can just pull strings at and show you. This is where I get into relationships. So I'm going to set that aside, but that's pretty much how the subconscious mind works. The second type of fear that the fear system doles out is the disguise factor. There's the diversion, where you constantly focus on, well, you don't fold the laundry properly, and I've told you a million times, and you just keep ignoring how I like my laundry. That's so not the point. That's so not the point. The point is you are angry because they have completely invalidated something you've requested, and that hurts you. But you don't want to talk about that. Your subconscious mind doesn't want to talk about that because that's dangerous. So you talk about socks not being folded right instead. You talk about a million other things instead of that, because that's the diversion. So the other side of this is the disguise. And this is toxic beliefs. Toxic beliefs are not beliefs at all. Limiting beliefs are not beliefs at all. They are fears in disguise. So if you think you're dealing with a toxic belief, this is actually really fucking smart on behalf of the subconscious mind. Like, I give this 5 stars. Complete congratulations of all the crap that the subconscious mind does, of all the sneaky shit. This is its finest glory. This is it right here. If you know the fear system is over there at the thing you're not trying to look at, it's the thing in the corner of your eye that's nagging at you that you're not looking at. It realizes that the really big topics that you really don't want to look at, it won't put them over there because you'll be able to identify them as fears. So it goes one step above and beyond crafty, and it drops your fears into your fear system and turns it into a toxic belief. So you won't even think to look at your beliefs. You'll think, well, I don't have any fears, because your fears are in disguise as a belief. So when you're sitting here going through your fears, finally overcoming the diversions to actually look at the fears, you're going to miss those ones over there completely because they're not in the fear bucket. They are in these are beliefs. These aren't fears. We have no idea what you're talking about. So you end up with a whole lot of toxic beliefs that actually aren't beliefs at all. They're fears in disguise because the subconscious mind is really fucking crafty. And this is the subconscious mind at its finest. I love this shit. So understanding these two types of fears really breaks it down as to how you're going to handle each one of them. Really, they're handled both the same way. What are you really afraid of? What are you really afraid of? This is simple. What we are all really afraid of is, well, belonging. That is our primary fear. It does not matter which fear you hand to anybody. The issue here is belonging, which comes back to safety. That's it. You don't feel safe. That's it. You don't feel safe. The things that are threatened are your food, your life, your shelter, belonging, which according to our gorgeous Ice Age brain equals safety. So that's, at the end of the day, this is all this comes down to. You don't feel safe. When something is not safe and it's labeled dangerous, it means your life is at stake. Now, when you were 5 years old and you were threatened by your parents that you would have to find another place to live unless that's called conditional belonging. When you have conditional belonging, there are suddenly terms in which you are going to be loved. And when you're 5 and 10 and 15, and we live in a system that's 100% dependent upon finances, you know at 15, you're not going to be able to pay bills. You know you can't get a job. You know that unless you adhere 100% to the dictatorship of your parents and their conditional rules, which are going to determine whether or not you live there or not, now your life is on the line. Every child at one point imagines themselves sleeping in a snowbank. Every child. What's really going on there is a parent has come down and said to that child at some point, you don't belong unless. And that's conditional belonging. Now, our Ice Age brain, our gorgeous subconscious mind, really takes that shit serious. Because in the Ice Age, this was really fucking serious shit. And our subconscious mind is from the Ice Age. So it's going to be serious shit. So even though it's an empty threat to a parent, that doesn't mean anything. Even though they're calling your bluff, your subconscious brain at 5, 10, 15 is doing a whole nother thing. What it's really doing is going, oh, holy fucking shit. We need to abort. This is dangerous. Being yourself is dangerous. Not being agreeable is dangerous. All of a sudden, you have all of these things, all of these conditions that now depend upon your survival. Because it all comes back to, can you survive? Food, love, shelter, belonging. Love equals safety. Because they've made it conditional. Love is not supposed to be conditional. Love is supposed to be unconditional. Oh, do I hate this about the patriarchy? The patriarchy loves to teach that love should always have conditions. You are confusing boundaries with love. They are absolutely, completely fucking different concepts. And this is what happens when you've got a bunch of fourth stage perspective people trying to talk about stuff they don't know about. This is what happens. So now you've got a lot of people going, yeah, love should be absolutely conditional because then you don't have boundaries. No. Apples and oranges. Not even. You're comparing refrigerators to apples. Like completely different topics. At the end of the day, love is not a feeling. Love is a state of being. Love is a feeling. A feeling is emotional investment. What did I say this morning? I loved it. What did I say? Oh, yes. Emotions are your check engine lights. That's what an emotion is. It is your check engine light. That's not what love is. That is not what love is. Love is a state of being. Love is your self-definition. Love is the foundation for what will become your ethics. But in most cases, we're not even free to have our ethics. Our identities are love. All of the things, all of the crap that we collect in our home is what we love because it's a reflection of our identity. So when you sit down and you decide that it's finally time to heal, and you start going into your own brain to dig all this shit out, there is one toxic belief that is standing in your way. And that toxic belief is that healing is dangerous. You literally announce to your subconscious brain, you know what it's time for? All that shit that you've hidden from me, I'm going to call you out on it. And the subconscious mind immediately hits the panic button and goes, shit, mission abort, they're on to us. And it turns into this massive thing. And suddenly you have no motivation. All of the to-do lists that you've written up for yourself are gone. Everything that you've wanted to do is gone. You've looked at your calendar and realized 6 months has passed and you've done nothing. This is one of my favorites. Let's talk about weight loss. Oh my God, is this one of my favorites? The reason why you have a weight problem in most cases is because of your mental. Because there's something in your brain that's fucking things up. So when you decide you want to lose weight and you go and subscribe to the gym and then you do nothing and you gain more weight and then you hate yourself, so you eat more and you're in that cycle, that's all your subconscious mind. This has nothing to do with what you're physically dealing with. This is about what you're mentally dealing with. Because when somebody who has food issues or eating issues, when that starts to get mixed up in the subconscious mind immediately launches to war and starts to twist food-related toxic beliefs inside of there. And then they start creating little behaviors to alter your eating habits. So your eating habits become emotional. Now you say, I want to lose the weight. Subconscious mind goes, shit, they're on to us, mission abort. And suddenly you have a subscription to a gym membership that you never use. It's because healing is dangerous. So what are you really afraid of? That's really it. You have the toxic belief in there that healing is dangerous because you are calling your subconscious mind out on all of its bullshit. Not even. It's more like it's the preliminary to that. This is how it goes. It's the, you know what, I think I'm going to go clean out that closet. Now, let's pretend that the subconscious mind is your spouse. And your subconscious mind has been using that closet to hide all of its gambling tickets or all of its drinking problems or all of its pick something and throw it in that closet. Now you announce, I'm going to go clean out that closet. You are talking about sabotaging all of the work that the subconscious mind has put you through just to make sure that you have your behavioral defenses in order. How dare you? The subconscious mind is going to get very annoyed at you and immediately set to work to divert you from touching its closet because it's filled with all of its skeletons. Announcing that you're going to do mental healing is announcing, I'm going to go to the fourth level of the subconscious mind and dig out all of that shit. And the fourth level of the subconscious mind is basically the closet of the subconscious mind where it stuffs all of its skeletons. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I am very well acquainted with the fourth level of the subconscious mind. That is where I lived for 38 years because I was the dirty little secret of my own subconscious mind. When I say the subconscious mind is crafty, I mean it's fucking crafty. If you have multiple personality disorder, dissociative identity disorder, the subconscious mind will use the fourth level of the subconscious mind to cram you into it. Literally, it crams me into it. It did. I'm so glad I can laugh about it now because I can laugh about it now. You know you're healed when. And it did. It crammed me in there for 38 years. So I lived in the fourth level of the subconscious mind while Joanna ran the show. And then Imagination and Berrigan and Kalon. So I was the dirty little secret of the subconscious mind. So when Joanna said, I'm going to go to therapy and heal, oh my God, the subconscious mind gagged me and pushed us all down there even further. And then I met my partner. And he said something to me that got to my subconscious mind. Oh, we're going to analyze this because what he said got to me, got to my subconscious mind. He said, no, it wasn't what he said. It was the feeling he gave me. He gave me the feeling, listen to this. He gave me the feeling that it was safe to heal. He reassured me that it was safe enough to heal. I need to write that down. So that's it. And my God, when he did that, it was like completely unstopping all of my trauma. And it did. By him giving me the feeling that it was safe enough to heal, my subconscious mind went, okay, I trust you. And my subconscious mind surrendered all of it. And all of it came out because he gave me the feeling safe enough to heal. That is how you need to address your subconscious mind. That is it. When you are at that point, when you decide you want to heal, you need to have a conversation with your subconscious mind. You need to sit down and really, okay, I know you've got all this garbage in my head. I know. I've actually had this conversation with my subconscious mind. Joanna did. And it's a one-on-one where you tell your subconscious mind, I know what you have done for me. Validate the subconscious mind. I know what you have done for me. I know what you've tried to get me through. Thank you. Oh, yes. Tell the subconscious mind, thank you. This is self-love like you would not believe. Multiple personality disorder allowed me to see a level of self-love. I cannot yet convey it, which is probably why I have not started up that playlist channel for you, is because I'm still looking for the words to convey the depth of love. It completely redefined everything I thought love was. How the subconscious mind, the extent that it goes through to protect you. All the shit it will put you through. It's crafty because it loves you. The subconscious mind absolutely is committed to you. It is the only thing on your side. You have been on your side this whole time. That's what you don't know. You have a fucking team in your head that is cheering for you. I know. I've seen it in action. I got to watch on the fourth level of the subconscious mind while my team went to work to free me. And it was a testament of self-love that I will never. It was extraordinary to watch. Somebody once asked me if my alters were angry at Joanna for what she did to me. And their answer was this: grateful. She took all the pain so we didn't have to. She took all the abuse so that we would have pieces of us that were safe. She had over 5 major mental disorders, while the rest of us had none. It was the ultimate sacrifice. It truly was the most ultimate, beautiful thing. And then I watched my mentally healthy alters work together to heal Joanna from the trauma she took from them. That is what your system will do for you. That is what it has done. That is why you have behavioral defenses. Because your super ego, your subconscious mind loves you that much. It's absolute self-love, self-sacrifice for the identity, for the ego, and for the intuition. The subconscious mind woke up one day and went, "You're in a war zone. We have to keep the identity intact because the identity is vital to the survival of the unit. The identity cannot be harmed." It's not the perspective, "You're in my way and I need to have this behavioral adjustment." It's this piece of the identity is being threatened. It's like a Nazi camp, and you have to hide the refugee from being found. So the subconscious mind breaks off a bit of your identity and puts it in the closet in the 4th level of the subconscious mind in an attempt to hide the part that's being threatened. And then you receive abuse, and the ego takes it. Your ego takes all the abuse. And the subconscious mind creates behavioral defenses to keep you safe. And the ego takes it. And more behavioral defenses are put in place, and the ego takes it. And the subconscious mind breaks up even more of the identity and puts more of it in the subconscious mind, 4th level, keeping it safe, altering things, shifting things, more behavioral defenses, and the ego takes it. And then the war is over, and you've got all these behavioral defenses, and you're dysfunctional because the war is over. You're dysfunctional because the war is over. And you start to notice it because you're dysfunctional. You functioned just fine during the war, but the war is over. Now what do? A lot of people go on medications. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You need to process. You need to understand what's going on. Medications, in my opinion, are an avoidant. Medications, in my opinion, are a suppressant. Now, if you're suicidal, absolutely. Because the priority shifts. The mission becomes keep you alive and then get help. But if you're not at that point, don't touch the medications. Medications are great if you're suicidal because the mission is different. The mission is keep you alive. But understanding, having the words for what's going on in your head, Understanding how the subconscious mind works, what behavioral defenses are, why you have them in place, what happened to you is really what you need. Once you understand all of that, you can process it. And then you can tackle the actual fear that you did not feel safe, that you don't feel safe. That's when you sit down and you have that conversation with your subconscious mind. You tell the subconscious mind, this is where I am and this is what I need. It's safe enough to heal. It's okay now. I'm going to be okay. And that's it right there. I'm going to be okay. You have to convince the subconscious mind that you're going to be okay. But you can't do that until you believe it. Now that is the real belief that you need to put in your head, that you're going to be okay, that you're going to get through this, that you can do this, that it's going to be all right, that you can do this. Because when you realize you can do this, now, that's the ego stepping up. That's the conscious awareness going, all right, I just got to manage this. And I show you all the parts. I show you all the parts of how to manage it. All right, roll up the sleeves. Let's get this done. So that is why you want to heal and you keep getting derailed. Thank you so much for joining me. If you love shit like this, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want even more shit like this, subscribe to my newsletter. And if you want this shit in an organized, detailed fashion with purpose, take a look at my masterclasses. Thank you so much, and may the kindest of words always find you.